holding back to try to win it the last 2 weeks.
Let's meet our two teams competing this afternoon. First, our number 3 seed team of Paul St. Pierre of Manchester and Deb Bradford of Peterborough.
Big winners last week. Paul St. Pierre of Manchester averaged 128, high single 197, 476 high triple. Bowls at a couple of different places, Exeter Lanes in Exeter and Park Place in Wyndham. Also, Deb Bradford with an average of 108, 157 high single, triple of 394. Does her bowling where she works at Bowling Acres in Peterborough.
And they will be taking on the second-seeded team of Dave Croumie of Peterborough, Deb Bradford's brother, and Nancy Vestal of Lynn, Massachusetts.
We'll begin with Dave. Average of 121, high single 184. His high triples 478. Bowls at the Bowling Acres in Peterborough and French King Lanes in Irving, Massachusetts. Now on to Nancy. She's from Lynn, average of 116. Nancy's high single 179, triple 454, and it's Exeter Lanes and Lucky Strike in Lynn, 2 bowling centers for her activity.
Our third-seeded team of Paul St. Pierre and Deb Bradford advanced with a 364 to 326 win over number 5 seed Rich Hallberg and Deb DeRozier last week. That sets up this afternoon's match. Let's get right to it. It's mixed doubles competition on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. We'll be back with this afternoon's match right after this. We are ready to go with our third mixed doubles match of the 4-match series. Third seed Paul St. Pierre and Deb Bradford taking on Dave Croumie and Nancy Vestal. Dave Hodge and Deb Regan waiting in the wings to face the winner for the championship. It'll be Deb Bradford starting us off in this afternoon's match. Right in the pocket. The 5 and the 7 still stand.
Strictly a cut shot here, with wood not a factor because there isn't any. Oops.
I asked Dave Croumie how he felt about bowling against his sister. He said usually they're partners in the competition, but this is an unusual circumstance where they're bowling against each other.
An amicable divorce for necessities of competition. They're about 2 years apart in age, and both live in Peterborough. Boy, 2 dandy balls to start, but terrible pinfall. Pocket hits for Deb Bradford to begin our 3rd week of competition in the mixed doubles. We do it every year about this time. Hope you're enjoying it.
Deb Bradford from Peterborough, assistant manager at Bowling Acres there. Starts out with 2 9s. And we get our first look at Nancy Vestal. First time ever on Channel 50. She was on Channel 5 3 times previously. She bowls out of the Exeter Lanes and Lucky Strike in Lynn.
Another moving pin, Dick.
Boy, pins are moving around these lanes like I've never seen before.
But not falling.
And she picks up a spare to start out.
That might have been helpful. Pin was off just enough to create a little different motion when she hit it perfectly.
Nancy and Fred have been married for 16 years. They have 3 children, Sarah, Rebecca, and Benjamin. She puts 3 in the spare. She's been bowling for 35 years.
Look at this.
Almost converts it. And when she's not bowling, she likes to play golf. And she'll take a 9 box. A quick 4-pin lead for the team of Vestal and Croumie. First ball got away from Paul St. Pierre. Paul is from Manchester, works as a tool and die maker at New Hampshire Stamping in Goffstown. He opens with an 8 box. He and wife Maureen have 3 children, Jessica, Amanda, and Nicole, and 1 granddaughter. Mackenzie is 18 months. And he was playing golf as recently as in December. He's an avid golfer.
Those are the real diehards.
Puts it right through the spread eagle. And I think, as we mentioned last time, his last 3 appearances on mixed doubles have all been with Debbies. Deb DeRozier, Deb Regan, and now Deb Bradford. A 5-box. So what do you say there, Mr. Moore? And when do you plan to capitulate and, and take your punishment in a head-to-head match with
well, I think
yours truly?
I think we're getting close. But I have a couple of. We haven't really decided on a forum or a format yet. And that's one thing we have to figure out. Do we want to subject the viewers to a full hour of you and I bowling? I don't think so. So I got an email at WZID where I work, my other job. Somebody suggested that you and I bowl and have Mike and Tom Morgan doing our jobs in the broadcast booth.
That'd be funny.
Another thought that I had, again, so as to not subject the viewers to seeing just you and I for a full hour, would perhaps hook up with Tom and Mike as doubles partners, so at least they could watch 2 good bowlers and 2 that be lucky to break 100. Well, I speak for you on that count. So we need to discuss, you know, my manager Don King will be in touch, and I think we're getting close, folks.
Dave Croumie converts.
And gets a high five from his sister Deb Bradford.
Even though she's on the opposing team.
That's right. Blood runs thicker than competition, I guess.
So Croumie and Vestal with the early lead here, and here's Deb Bradford.
They were just a few pins away from actually being partners. Brother and sister didn't work out that way, but they still made the same show.
If you would like to be on a future Candlepin Stars and Strikes show on WNDS, the best way to do it is to contact the people here at Leda Lanes in Nashua. Find out when the next roll-off is taking place. Sign up for it and give it your best shot. Call them at 603-889-4884. That's 603-889-4884. Find out when the next roll-off is scheduled, and who knows, maybe we'll see you on a future Candlepin Stars and Strikes show on WNDS TV.
Almost got backdoor action. The object pin still stands, the number 2.
She had turned her back to it. She wasn't going to see it go. She heard the crowd roar a little bit and took a quick look over her shoulder. And that'll be a 9-box. Now Nancy Vestal will fill the spare left by Dave Croumie.
She is the 8th winningest bowler in the history of women, the WCBC, with 5 titles. Only 7 other women ahead of her. Rated number 2 in the 1998-99 season, behind a woman we saw a couple of weeks ago, Joanne Rosano. And I guess it stands to a reason, because she did win 2 of the 6 stops last year, whereas Joanne won 3 of the 6, which left only 1 tournament for anybody else to win.
And she'll take a 9-box. "15-pin lead early in the match. Right in the pocket. Look at that leave.
The 5, the 8, the 8.5, and the 10.
It used to be the 9.
Well, will she use the pins to sweep it over?
Gonna try.
Only the 8-pin stands. That'll take about a 15-pin lead into the next frame.
That's exactly what it will be. 65-50. Now Paul St. Pierre. Crossed over to the Brooklyn side. 9 of them go. There's the mark, the first mark of the first string for the team of Paul St. Pierre and Deb Bradford. Paul's high single 197, a high triple of 476. He'll put 5 in his mark.
Their team last week, 120, 114, and 130, beating DeRocher and Albert.
We have $850 in the triple strike jackpot. Would love to give that away. $60 in the bonus ball contest. What is the bonus ball contest, you ask? Funny you should ask. After every match, we have a bin full of postcards, and we have one of our winning bowlers will bowl a ball, and then we'll draw a postcard, and if the postcard matches the number of pins knocked down by a winning bowler, you win the cash prize. If not, you win a consolation prize from N&R Trophies of Winchendon, Massachusetts. And you can send in your postcards to Leda Lane's bonus ball contest. And the mailing address for Leda Lane's is 340 Amherst Street, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03063. Pins continue to fall for Dave Croumie.
It's 3/4 of the back row. 7, the 9, and the 10. Little wood in front of 7. I'd like to snap it across to take out the pins on the right.
He just tried to bury the wood and hope something would happen. Dave would not be described as a finesse bowler. He's a hard thrower. And he'll take an 8-box.
But he's big on body English. He's fun to watch.
10-pin lead for Croumie and Vestal over Bradford and St. Pierre, and Deb Bradford at the line.
Next week, it's our top seeds, Dave Hodge and Deb Regan, who bowled a 1290 combined to take the top seeded position in our mixed doubles format for these 4 weeks. Our runner-up today will take home $400. Second prize next week in the championship match is $600. Our winners will share $1,000. I want to thank folks at Leda Lane's adding a little extra money to this year's tournament. Make it worthwhile for everybody to take a day off of work and have fun on the lanes.
Deb in the pocket that time, but a little bit too high, and a split remains. You got the 2, 4, 6, and 10. Contrast in styles from brother and sister. The sister, Deb Bradford, very stylish as a bowler, and Dave Croumie attacks the lane. That'll be a 7-box for Deb and an 88 first string for the team of Paul St. Pierre and Deb Bradford. Now Dave Croumie and Nancy Vestal are sitting at 83 with 2 boxes to go. A chance to increase that lead. Not a tough shot remains.
Hard to believe hitting the head pin the way she did. Only 4 pins went down.
Right through the opening.
A look of disgust on Nancy Vestal's face after that second ball.
That's going to be a 5-box for Nancy Vestal. So they're at 88 with a box to go. So it'll be within a mark unless she marks. That's right on the head pin, but she leaves the split.
And no real help from the wood in front of the 3-pin.
The 3 and the 7 with a piece of wood. You take your chances with the wood here and hope something happens. Well, like that, but nothing happened.
So it'll be less than 10 pins when it didn't look like it would be quite that close going
Both
into game
teams
2.
under 100 in the first string. That'll be a 96 first string for the team of Dave Croumie and Nancy Vestal to the 88 posted by Paul St. Pierre and Deb Bradford. 1 string in the books. We go to number 2 and we come back to Leda Lane's in Nashua, New Hampshire for Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNBS TV. Dave Croumie will bowl first as we start the second string. .96 for Croumie and Vestal in the first string, 88 for St. Pierre and Bradford, an 8-pin lead. Neither team setting the pins on fire in that first string. The format on mixed doubles, the women started the first string. The men will start the second string. And each team will have the option to determine who will start the third string. They'll have their choice. Whoever has the hot hand, if in fact there is a hot hand. Dave Croumie, tough shot here. Almost made it. Dave is a public works employee for the town of Peterborough, New Hampshire. And he starts out with a 10.
Supposed to say hello to somebody 2 weeks ago, Dick. And I'm just getting around to it today.
You're a little late.
I know. Story of my life. Hello to Annette Burrill of Manchester, 85 years young, enjoys Candlepin Stars and Strikes every week, sometimes twice a week. So Annette Burrill, thank you for watching, and I'm sorry I was supposed to say hi to you 2 weeks ago. Please don't take me out of your will.
The 3-pin just danced out to be almost parallel on the same line with the 1-pin. It just danced out about 4 inches. And that'll be a 7-box.
Well, we've been running the show on a shoestring the last couple weeks. Not a whole lot of bonus money been given away. I think we gave away a little bit last week. And that's it. $8.50 for 3 strikes in a row, $50 for 3 marks in a row, and there's $20 for each additional mark thereafter. In a continuous fashion, of course.
Missed it. That will be a 10-box for Paul St. Pierre.
See the Nashua Telegraph here? This is a copy back from December 11th. Front page in one of the sections devoted to Leda Lanes celebrating their 40th anniversary, showing a picture of the farmland on Amherst Street where the lanes now sit. Then a picture of the very first building. And then, of course, the final picture now in the year 2000. And they also run through some interesting things about what things were happening in 1959 as opposed to 40 years later. And there's a picture also of President Clinton bowling on what looks to be lane 35 here at Leda Lanes.
Right, just down to our right, sure.
So if you have access to the 11th of December, National Telegraph, or perhaps you saw it, nice tribute to 40 years in the community here for Leda Lanes, our weekly host for Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
And we congratulate Ray Simoneau and Sean Howard and the staff here for the terrific job that they do. Nancy Vestal buries one in the pocket and leaves herself another split.
Besides being gracious hosts, they also added some money this week for the mixed doubles tournament, an added prize fund. Thank you so much to that.
Well, our bowlers are having a hard time warming up here this afternoon. We had 2 marks by the team of Croumie and Vestal in the first string, 1 by the team of St. Pierre and Bradford, and we're looking for our first mark in the second string.
Looking at those scores, you might think it's Lutz and Morin bowling, but it's not.
And Deb is off the head pin. I'll make you eat those words. Well, almost made it, leaves the head pin. Can we do virtual bowling?
There you go. We're in trouble if the show ever comes to that.
That'll be a 9-box.
Folks will sit at home with their joysticks and create the bowling matches the way they want. Then they put the mute button on all day and not hear us.
And Deb just can't find the head pin right now.
But she's not alone.
It's a low-scoring match, but it's a close match. A different kind of excitement. That time she punched right through. And that'll be an 8-box. So we'll go to the break. Both teams looking for their first mark of the second string. It's a 9-pin lead for Nancy Vestal and Dave Croumie over Deb Bradford and Paul St. Pierre. As we reach the halfway point, don't go away. We're coming right back to Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Ready to go. Dave Croumie stands on lane 34. Ready to begin. 9-pin lead in the match. She buried that one in the pocket.
Well, that's because we went down and had a little talk with the bowlers during the match. We said, come on, guys. Ray added all this extra money. Let's get some marks out there.
The 6-pin.
And it worked. Yeah, you threaten these guys, even somebody as big as Dave. He'll respond.
You saw Dave Croumie bow to the crowd, acknowledge the applause. Can he make it 2 in a row on the head pin? Put 7 in the mark. The crowd is trying to generate a little excitement here. The wood is not good.
But he throws so much velocity, he might get some things happening there with some bounce off the sidewalls. You can't plow it straight through.
Yeah, that's what happens. It came off the sidewall and only took 1 of the 3. Yeah, you can tell that the wood was not set up well for that. And that'll be a 9-box with Dave Croumie. We want to acknowledge a couple of notes that we received. I could find what I did with them. One of the fans here at Leda Lanes prior to the taping session brought us a copy of an article. What a shot that was by Paul St. Pierre. You saw it, Paul gesturing to the crowd. The bowlers in the crowd having fun playing off each other. Here's Paul trying to fill the spare, but he can't avoid the split.
Is this from the Lynn item?
Yes, I believe it is.
A couple of bowlers inducted into the International Candlepin Bowling Association Hall of Fame. Names that I'm sure you'll know. Tom Tsunami, Tony Leo, and Jimmy Barber, who the article calls the Ruth Gehrig and DiMaggio of Candlepin bowling.
That's a real Candlepin bowling hotbed down in that neck of the woods.
It sure is. The North Shore has probably turned out more bowlers, at least that we see on our show over the years, than almost any other region here of New England.
Here's Nancy Vestal, missing the head pin.
The ICBA has an annual induction for any number of bowlers and people who've given good service to the game, not necessarily bowlers, but promoters or bowling center owners. And if you ever have a chance to attend one of the ICBA induction ceremonies, it's a nice banquet. It's usually part of their annual convention. It's worth attending. Been to a number of them, and it's a lot of fun.
And 8 for Nancy.
Not as an inductee, I might point out.
Not yet, anyway.
No, I think we're a couple lifetimes away from that. I don't know if beating you on the lanes would qualify me for Hall of Fame status.
I want to acknowledge a couple of notes that we received. One from Charlie Oliver of Manchester.
Oh.
Nancy almost made the spare. Charlie's a regular viewer of Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. $10 for Nancy.
They're in danger of not hitting 100 unless they do a mark. 79 through 8. The 1, the 2, the 9, and the 10 for Deb Bradford, who with her partner Paul St. Pierre knocked out 120, 114, and 130 last week to beat Hallberg and DeRozier.
Ingrid Smith from Center Harbor, New Hampshire writes in, Michael, that Her early years were spent in Worcester and Holden. Have I ever mentioned that I was from Worcester?
Not this week.
No.
Look
at that 10 box
shot.
What a great shot. Watch it one more time. Watch the wood ricochet off the far wall and come back and take him out. Deb off the head pin in the 8th box. And she'll throw it past the head pin again. Mrs. Smith writes that watching Candlepin bowling on TV is their favorite television watching pastime. That's a nice box, a nice out by Deb Bradford to get the 10 box.
Well, we thank them for that compliment. Very nice.
Dave Croumie.
I mean, anytime we can be mentioned ahead of Xena, the Princess Warrior, you got to feel good about it.
Or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Yeah.
Is that your final answer? Croumie, almost.
Do you remember when Regis Philbin was absolutely the most made fun of person back in the 60s when he was co-hosting with Joey Bishop?
Sure, of course.
I mean, he was the butt of every comedian's joke, and now, guess who's laughing all the way to the bank?
He's on top of the world.
Regis Philbin, despite having to work with Kathy Lee Gifford, he's managed to keep his career way up there.
Dave Croumie in the 10th frame. I read recently that the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire job was first offered to Maury Povich.
Maury, what were you thinking? Any reason why he declined?
The syndicators of his TV talk show, his daytime talk show, didn't think it was going to make it. 93 second string for Dave Croumie and Nancy Vestal. Now Paul St. Pierre tries to make some hay here and get closer.
Boy, they've got a great chance to catch up, bowling against a couple of 7 boxes from Vestal and Croumie in the last 2 frames.
He won't get the spare. Wow, that's right. You heard the moan from the crowd. It looked like a perfect shot. It'll be a 10 box. They'll pick up 3 pins in that box. So he's going to need a mark for 100. What will the chances be of seeing 4 strings, 2 by each team, under 100? And look at this, a tough shot left. It'll be an under 10 pin advantage. And it'll be under 100. We have yet to break 100 through 2 strings this afternoon. Are these the same pins that they use all the time? A 7 box. 96. A 5-pin lead in the match for Nancy Vestal and Dave Croumie as we go to the 3rd string with Deb Bradford and Paul St. Pierre. We're coming back, and hopefully one of these teams will break 100 in string number 3 on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. We'll be right back. Ready to go to start the 3rd string. 5-pin match, 5 pins separating these 2 teams, with the Nancy Vestal and Dave Croumie leading Paul St. Pierre and Deb Bradford, and it'll be Paul St. Pierre starting off the 3rd string, picking up where they left off in the 2nd string.
And the groan alert continues.
Both teams had 1 mark in the 2nd string.
We had 5 marks all day in 40 frames of bowling.
And these are terrific bowlers, friends.
Well, that's your opinion. No, just kidding. They are having an off day.
Paul opens with a 7 box in the 3rd string.
Paul's average is 128. His partner, Deb Bradford's average is 108.
It's right through the head pin again. I'm going to check with Ray Simino, see if he put a different set of pins out there. That time he went to the left side and tried to convert. be a 9-box for Paul St. Pierre. Dave Croumie. The average is 121, a high single 184, high triple 478. Well, he breaks up the split. Almost had a spread eagle and has a spare opportunity here.
We mentioned he's bowling against his sister today, Deb Bradford, but as a team in the NHCBA state tournament, they captured the handicap doubles championship this year. Take a bow.
Dave takes a bow after making the mark. Watch the shot. And watch the bow. There it is. Put 6 in the spare.
Who's on instant replay today on the crew?
I'll tell you that in a second. I've got my crew sheet here.
Not getting much work.
And not going to get work here either. Our terrific WNDS TV 50 crew working at Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. We'll give you the rundown after this ball by Dave Croumie. And it is a 9-box. Our director here is Ken Knight. Working on audio is Dave Hand, the tape machine manned by Dave McCarthy. On computer graphics, Larry Taylor. The video is handled by Paul Hunter. And our 3 cameramen are Bob Dole, Jim McLean, and Jeff Garcia. And they all make it possible for you to watch Candlepin Stars and Strikes each and every week on WNDS. They bring you the thrills, the excitement, the strikes and spares when they take place, which this afternoon hasn't been very often. Deb sizes up the situation.
And now she's got the other piece of wood on the left, which you don't see at the time, but it's essentially closing off the object pin, which is the 6.
Tough shot here with
very,
the wood.
very tough.
Now she tried to finesse it. And that will be a 10-box.
Might have gone.
Yep. After the fact, it's easy to say. Bradford and St. Pierre without a mark thus far in the 3rd string. And again, she misses the head pin. Missed the head pin again, and the head pin still stands.
Not by much.
So they will be open through 4. $10 for Deb Bradford. Nancy Vestal steps to lane 34. Vestal and Croumie have about a 10-pin lead right now. Chopping through, leaving a split.
Should also mention the winning team today receives some great prizes from Haverhill Beef Company. They'll take care of all your party needs, and we're just a couple of weeks away from the Super Bowl. Might not be a bad time to pick up the phone and call Joe Terrazzano at Haverhill Beef. Have put together maybe a shrimp platter or something with some shish kebabs, party tray with some cheese, some cold cuts. They'll take care of you, whatever you need. You tell them we sent you, and they'll take extra care of you. At the Haverhill Beef Company, providing some terrific prizes for our winning teams every week here on this season's Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
We're taping this program in December. Still a couple of weeks to go in the National Football League season,
Yep.
but the Super Bowl, as people are watching this, is a couple of weeks away. Who do you think will be in it?
Oh, now don't ask me that, because I'll look like an idiot at this moment when it's already been decided.
You don't think the Patriots will be there, huh?
I'm guessing not. I'm guessing the Cincinnati Bengals will get there before the Patriots do.
$10 for Nancy Vestal. We'll go to the break. Michael contemplated Super Bowl picks. We are heading down the home stretch. A 12-pin lead for Vestal and Croumie over Bradford and St. Pierre. Candlepin Stars and Strikes continues on WNDS TV. Paul St. Pierre ready to go in the 5th frame of the 3rd string. A 12-pin lead for Nancy Vestal and Dave Croumie over Paul St. Pierre and Deb Bradford. Neither team really able to find the mark. And Paul and Deb need some marks right here. Tough shot coming for Paul St. Pierre. So you've had an opportunity to think about your Super Bowl picks.
Yes, and what makes you think I want to share them with everybody? This being the middle of December, as we speak, broadcast in mid-January. What if I told you the New York Giants might slip in?
As we tape this, it's a mathematical possibility. Probability,
Right.
no. 9, Paul St. Pierre.
You'll not be sharing your predictions with us at this point?
I could go with the easy choices, like Jacksonville in the AFC and St. Louis in the NFC, perhaps.
But you're a contrarian, and you wouldn't do that. That would be too easy.
No, I might think the Vikings would surprise and show up in the Super Bowl. $10 for Paul Croumie.
Well, Mr. George keeps his head on straight as their quarterback. He's been known to occasionally get kind of flaky as things go on.
He sure does, but when he's on his game, he's as good as there is.
So intense, isn't he?
There goes the one. Another split.
Piece of wood working its way off into the channel.
Makes it that much more difficult.
It's the 6, the 8, and the 10.
Wrapped it around. Marks have been tough to come by in this match. Well, he almost banked it home. Take a $9.
Our runner-ups today get $400 in cash next week, $1,000 and $600 respectively for first and second place finishers. In our final week of the mixed doubles format here, we do it every year in Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Half Worcester for Dave Croumie. It's really uncanny, isn't it, when you see from game to game, box to box, the different pin reaction. And that's a $5. We have a very tight match. 7 pins separate these two teams.
It will no doubt go down as the lowest scoring match since you and I have been involved in Candlepin Stars and Strikes. But you know what? It's close, and that's what's exciting about it.
It might be the lowest scoring match since they eliminated Pin Boys. Deb Bradford. Not able to convert. Who is going to step to the fore?
Who will be the hero in this match that is less than 1 mark apart?
That'll be a $9. It'll be a $10.
Give her a 10. Right off the back curtain. The 1 pin came back and took down the 10.
Again, missing the head pin. She has been consistently off the head pin in the latter stages of this match. That's on the head pin right there, but not taking much with it.
Punches right through.
Both teams leaving the door open for the opponent. And that'll be a $7. Can Nancy Vestal open some distance?
She's a service rep for Bell Atlantic. I think we mentioned that. Married 16 years to husband Fred. 3 children.
On the head pin, and look what's there. The crowd murmuring. Playing the wood. Took a shot at it.
They've only had one 10 box and 1 spare. Everything else has been less.
That'll be a $9. Well, unless she marks here, it'll be within a mark going to the last 2 frames. And that's going to be a tough shot. The wood could be helpful, but not an easy shot.
I think the 8 pin might stay.
No, she missed the head pin. No, she took it all.
Oh.
She threw it past the head pin, but it came back to grab it. Watch it one more time. The wood is what helped her. And a big spare for Nancy. Well, Paul needs to mark. The fact that the 10-pin is still standing does not help him at all. Now he'll wait to see where the wood ends up.
Wood may be too far forward to be of any help unless it rolls back a little bit further. Right now it looks to be about 15 inches at least from the 10-pin.
Tried to cut it, couldn't do it, so he'll be open in the 8th. In the 9th, I should say. That might have taken it.
They need a mark.
Oh, desperately.
For 100.
Yeah.
Well, that is a makeable
spare leave, finally.
We haven't seen many of those today. It's the 3 and the 6. This is a pressure shot.
Missed it. And that will do it. The match is over. A 9 box and a 91. And a 275 triple. Now Dave Croumie to finish up.
And they are the winners.
It is over with that shot officially. All that remains is to see if we can give away any bonus money, and the way things are going here, I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Another, as we call it, low dose show today.
9 box, 91. Well, they've got a shot at breaking 100, which would be the first string over 100. Not with a shot like that, though. Needs a 9 to get 100. Will we go without a string over 100 this afternoon? Wouldn't that be something? It will be a 9. They made 100.
And the crowd appreciates it.
They got to 100. 289 to 275. Nancy Vestal and Dave Croumie beat Deb Bradford. And Paul St. Pierre will be back to talk to the bowlers right after this on WNDS TV's Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Michael, you're the bowling historian. Talk about this 289 to 275 match.
Well, you know, I think Dave Croumie said it best here off camera. This was not the show to watch if you want to learn how to bowl. But hey, who am I to say? Because when you and I get on eventually, it'll even be more laughable. But it was close. That's the important thing. The bowlers only averaged 94 today, but it was very close all the way down to the end. So it was a different kind of entertainment.
Let's talk to the bowlers, see if they have an explanation. As we talk with Paul St. Pierre and Deb Bradford. Paul, yeah. I look at the scores here in the roll-offs. 1253, 1270 with the 2 roll-off scores of the 2 teams, and yet 289 to 275. You explained it. I can't.
I can see. I went out to lunch, and my evil twin came back to get back at me. It was ugly.
Dave and Deb, have you and your brother ever bowled like that before and competitively?
Oh. No.
It wouldn't be allowed, would it?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, we have some consolation prizes that'll make the paint a little easier. Checks for you for $250, and we have no bonus money this match. There was no bonus money for anybody. Nobody earned any bonus money. Thanks a lot. Congratulations. Nice to see you. We'll see you again on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And now Dave Croumie will bowl a bonus ball, and we'll try to match him up with a winner at home and see if we can give away some more cash as Dave Croumie steps to the line. He said he was going to get a 7. He got a 7. That was the best ball he threw all day. And we're going to pick another one. This was not an incomplete card. We'll pick another one out of there. And this one is, we have a winner. Celia Flanagan of Salem, New Hampshire, guessed 7. So we have A winner for Celia Flanagan. Is it $60, I believe?
$60.
$60
Yes,
in cash for Celia Flanagan. And 10 free strings of bowling go to Beverly Finnegan of Newton, Massachusetts, the second card drawn out of the bin. And now, Dave Croumie, I'll let you explain what happened here this afternoon.
I have no clue. I have no idea. Just nothing was doing. Nobody showing up. Nobody showed up to bowl, and the pins were falling over. So it's basically what it is. I got the 7, I guaranteed, though. So
You did well there. And Nancy, come on in a little closer, and we'll talk about the fact that some days when you bowl Candlepins, you'll the same balls you threw today, they weren't getting great fills.
116, it's 94.
Her average went from 116 to 94 in one fell swoop. Congratulations to you. We have gift certificates to Haverhill Beef. We have an opportunity for you to climb the ladder next week, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. Dave Croumie and Nancy Vestal, our winners here this afternoon. And that's